If you were to take this housing bill, like I have done, and read it all, and then wanted to pick out the top 5 big things that older adults and seniors should care about, what would it be? Well, the first one is that it could make aging in place safer. A new whole home repairs pilot could support repairs and accessory improvements such as grab bars, ramps, wider doorways, safer bathrooms, weatherization, and removal of health hazards. And actual assistance is going to be based on a federal funded program that could be rolled out pretty soon. The second one is that it could create more downsizing options. The law encourages accessory dwelling units, duplexes, townhouses, manufactured homes, modular homes, and conversion of empty buildings into housing. So over time, that could give older homeowners more choices when they no longer want or need a large house. This is one of the biggest frustrations that my audience, you guys, have when it comes to transitioning and making options about your current home and what to do if you want to downsize to a smaller home because you don't need all that house and you also want to pay a lower mortgage or a lower rent. Third, senior renters could receive stronger support. Keyword, stronger. The law seeks to preserve public and rural rental housing, improve the housing choice voucher program, and test temperature sensors in federally assisted housing and establish a complaint resource for tenants of large corporate landlords. One of the frustrations that seniors have when renting is that these large companies buy these rental units and they treat people badly, and there is nowhere to really push back because what are you going to do? These are giant corporations that have tons of money and lawyers that could lawyer up and intimidate you. Well, this bill is going to provide a complaint resource for tenants of large corporate landlords. Excuse me. Number 4, it may help children and grandchildren buy homes. Large institutional investors controlling at least 350 single-family homes will face restrictions on additional purchases, potentially leaving more existing homes available for individual buyers. The provision begins 180 days after enactment. So this is one of the things that's going to happen pretty quickly. If you've been hearing that Wall Street is buying up homes and buying up apartment buildings like crazy because they want to control the market, this bill is going to stop that in its tracks after 180 days. I wish they had just done it right away because 180 days is just giving them more power to raise and buy more homes and do more damage. But it's still something, so we'll take it. At least 180 days later, we can see some improvement in slowing down the fast increase in home prices because these companies are buying up homes and making it harder for first-time buyers to enter the market. And then number 5 is that there is going to be enforcement to make sure that there is enough permits. They're going to remove red tape to allow new construction and local zoning changes to facilitate a boom in the housing market. So that is number 5, which means that if you are in retirement and thinking about downsizing, if you are nearing retirement thinking about downsizing, or if you are just in the market and you've been frustrated by the fact that there are few options, they are trying to remove all the restrictions and the major frustrations that builders have, zoning laws, etc., to make sure that builders can build quickly, especially low-cost housing for the market. So now, here are some of the things that I want you to do or know as I go deeper into this bill. So I've given you the highlights, right? Now I'm going to go into detail of what is in this bill that you should know about that is coming down the pike. So the first one is that, of course, the bill is now law. The Senate passed it 85-5 in June 22nd, and then the House passed it immediately after 358-32. It became law on July the 1st. You cannot find a bipartisan bill in the last couple of years that had major teeth, right? Did something big that had this much support. So I'm excited about it. Now, the goal is to build more housing. The law attempts to reduce construction delays, make federal housing programs easier to use, and encourage communities to permit more homes. The White House economists estimate that the country has a shortage of roughly 10 million homes. This is why house prices are going up so fast. Number 3, large institutional investors will face purchasing restriction. A company or investment group that controls at least 350 single-family homes generally will be prohibited from buying additional existing homes. My thing is that there is a way for these guys to game the system, because 350 single-family homes, basically what they're going to do is that rather than pulling their money together, these wealthy investors will now become individuals, right? And so if previously 10 people were pulling their money together, now each of them can get 350 homes. So I think this is a compromise, but I can see Congress coming back to this provision. If they don't see immediate improvement and if they start seeing people gaming the system, I can see how Congress is going to return to this provision. Corporations will not be forced to sell homes they already own. The law restricts future purchases, but it does not require institutional investors to divest existing properties. So that's why I'm saying the 180 days was too long, right? Because now you're giving them even more power to get more, and because they know they don't have to sell it. Now, communities will receive guidance on zoning. The HUD, the Federal Housing Authority, must publish guidelines and best practices for states and local government who are considering more duplexes, townhomes, apartments, and other housing types like modular homes and manufactured homes. The federal government is encouraging reform, and local governments are going to get assistance about zoning best practices. Housing approvals will become much faster. The law streamlines some federal environmental reviews, particularly for infill development and federally supported housing projects, in an effort to reduce delays and administrative costs. Another provision that I'm excited about: empty buildings could be converted into housing. A pilot program will help communities turn vacant commercial and industrial properties into affordable houses. It will help communities receive certain federal grants that they can use to build more affordable houses in publicly owned, underdeveloped land. The government owns so much land. Now they're opening some of that up for public housing. One area that I'm excited about is a whole home repairs pilot could assist qualifying homeowners. Grants could address accessibility, safety, major repairs, energy efficiency, and weatherization, and it could help low-income seniors attempting to age in place safely. That's big deal. Another thing is that small dollar mortgages could become easier to obtain. HUD may establish a pilot program for mortgages $100,000 or less, potentially including assistance with down payment, closing costs, appraisals, and title insurance. This may help seniors who have been priced out of moderately priced homes get access to these programs. And then the next one is manufactured and modular housing could receive more support. The law modernizes financing rules, raises certain loan limits, and support accessory dwelling units, and seek to reduce barriers to modular home builders. Manufactured home communities could receive repair and preservation assistance. The PRICE program can support infrastructure, home replacement, accessibility improvement, weatherization, resident services, and preservation of affordable manufactured home communities. And then I talked about public housing. What is going on with that? Well, the law raises rental assistance demonstration cap by 100,000 units, and it protects tenants in converted properties and makes it easier for landlords and properties to participate in the housing voucher program. The Housing Choice Voucher program had previously restricted certain landlords and properties from participating is going to expand that so that more people can get access to it, especially seniors. And then rural disaster assistance could also be improved. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest housing bill we have seen that has real effort or has taken a real stab at improving housing, and especially taking care to put in provisions that's going to help older adults and seniors who have been priced out of this market, who feel stuck in bigger homes because they cannot downsize, who are low income and needing rental assistance or home buying assistance, who cannot get lower cost mortgages and lower price mortgages. If you buy a house $100,000 and you want to get a mortgage for $70,000, a lot of lenders are not interested in that. Well, there are programs that are coming up from the HUD that is going to address some of these issues. So that is what I wanted to bring to you. Remember,